Welcome to Growlersations, episode 23. My special guest is Andre Benjamin and Big Boy of Outcast. I mean, Marc Rebillet.
Hey, how are you?
And we were just doing we're just talking about Spodioti Dopalicious. So if you're into those old school 90s Outcast tracks, check that one out, personal favorite. But we are Growlersations episode 23. We just ended summer vacation. We took a month of chilling and not drinking beer with our friends anymore because Jeff and I stayed sober as a judge for a good 6 weeks, I think. Nah.
I was like, I don't remember that.
No, we just didn't schedule anyone
you
for a
were
while.
drunk.
Yeah.
And we are getting back to it for here. We're drinking beer at a super secret location. You guys might recognize my friend Marc Rebillet here. He's been on a couple shows before, but he hasn't been like our primary guest. He stood in for Jeff one time, and when Jeff wasn't able, co-hosted the St. Pete's Dancing Marlin episode. And then now he is here with us, being not our co-host, but our actual featured guest of awesomeness. So
And Deepo Marco.
Yeah, Deepo
Where
and
you
Go.
guys
that's
were
right.
talking about serious shit, and we were just going.
Yeah,
He was a co-guest in the John LaRue, Michael Curvin episode at Deep El Marco.
yeah.
But as with many things, you know, those of you who know Growlersations, we get off the rails sometime. So this time we want to stay on Mark's rail, real good.
Yes, you do.
So that's what we're here making happen. So
Ooh. What are we drinking?
cheers it up, fellas. Jeffrey, what do you got here?
This is rye, you fools.
Ooh, chin.
Rye pale ale.
Oh, baby, that's
Rye You
pale.
Fools is one of the new ones for us at BrainDead. Our brewer Drew, if he had a signature, I would say his signature is the addition of the ingredient rye in his beers. It's kind of one of the things where you can kind of taste the Drew in it. And this is
That sounds
definitely one
disgusting.
of those.
This
Hey,
is real.
we also have another beer you can taste one of our bartenders in it. We'll get around to that later.
I think this was actually that beer that he. We were having a meeting, and he was supposed to be making like a rye Belgian.
Yeah.
And remember, he came out. He goes, "We don't have the fucking hops." And so he's like, "I'm changing it to a pale."
So occasionally here at BrainDead, being a brew pub, we don't brew the same 4 or 5 beers all the time. So my man Drew is always trying to push the envelope and brew something different. And sometimes things don't always go exactly according to plan. But Drew, being the wizard that he is,
He
always makes it come around and pulls it all together, gets it back on the tracks, and we end up with a pretty tasty beer going on with Rye You Fools. So
I'm a
just
fan.
Rye,
I've not had this one.
Rye Pale Ale.
Delicious.
Yeah. I mean,
Delicious.
I think it went on last week or so.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Don't
it's
feel
definitely
bad,
new.
Mark.
I'm
okay?
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Unless you just drink Frühling's straight.
Yeah, I mean,
That's it. That's all I do. Frühlingszeit or bust.
it's one of my favorite beers he's made. Frühlingszeit, I think, is like, mwah, it's like a standard bearer, that kind of beer, you know, where it's like, it should be, to me, part of the regular rotation. Reds don't have red anymore, right?
Yeah, we held back for a minute, you know,
Oh, yeah.
just to see where it goes. Because we had all these hoppy other beers and beers that kind of like hit that thing, so we were trying to just mix it up with other
okay.
styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get the diversity.
Diversity.
Excuse me, I'm trying to get some diversity. if you don't mind.
Mark, why don't you tell us who you are, man? Who are you? What are you doing?
Born in the Sasquatch River. No, I am a musician, an entertainer. I do a one-man show that's very strange. It's entirely improvised, and you guys know this.
You're doing it at the end of this show, aren't you doing it? You brought your
Yeah, I brought all my stuff. I'm ready. 3 hours. It's gonna happen.
And then he's gonna teach a beer class in the middle.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Mark. I'm sorry.
So this is kind of a question I'm going to ask you in the form of a story. People kind of oftentimes, some of the most interesting interactions I've had with strangers lately have been at your shows.
makes
Mostly
me happy
because
to hear.
I'm a big fan of yours, a friend, but also a big fan of yours.
Both.
And I'd like to consider that I'm probably in the top 5 most shows seen. Angelina might eke me out.
Yeah.
There's some, but I'm like, I'm up there
Absolutely, you're
with the most
definite.
shows that I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen a lot of different things, but one of my favorite conversations I ever had with somebody was at one of your shows at Twilite. A guy walked up to me and goes, "Hey man, you're the guy from the background of the Marc Rebillet live streams." I was like, yes, I am the guy from the background of Marc Rebillet's live streams.
That's awesome.
And he had printed his own shirt that said "Let's poop on it."
Oh,
He
man,
ironed
yes.
on.
That's awesome.
He
Yes.
ironed on the letters
felt?
and made a
Yeah,
"Let's
dude,
poop on
that
it"
guy
t-shirt.
makes shirts. He makes shirts.
Yeah.
I may use him for some merch soon.
Totally.
He's come to a few shows
He
now.
was super
Let's
pumped. A
poop
good
on
guy.
it.
I traded
Yeah.
numbers with him, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to this other bar later. You want to meet up for a drink?" Like, totally a cool guy. And that's kind of one of the things. And so when people recognize me from your live streams or whatever, that we start the conversation,
Yeah.
people are inevitably like, "Well, how do you know him?" And so the part that is unarguable, it's the just quantifiable fact, is you used to work here, part of the opening crew.
That's right.
You helped build this place and make it what it is. First year and a half,
Yeah.
somewhere right in
First
there.
year, right about a year, yeah.
Yeah, right around a year, and you waited tables here. And here's where it starts to be kind of speculative for me. My understanding, and please correct me, is your first handful of live performances. You had been doing the YouTube thing at home for a while,
Yes.
but your first live performances were employee parties and stuff for
Yeah.
us at BrainDead.
That's right.
Is that accurate, or did I make that up to flatter myself?
Not at all. That was maybe I did. Yeah, it was us, right? It was us. No, it was.
We made you.
I did like a DJ thing, and then I did a performance, and then maybe we did another one, and then maybe 6-7 months. My very first gig was at. Did you guys ever go to that loft that Sam McCurdy had? Now she's in LA. She used to run this loft down the way at the end of Deep Ellum. That was really cool, and she did a lot of events. Anyway, I did my first actual let's take this equipment and play it in front of a crowd of people who aren't familiar with me thing, and it was sloppy, and but yeah, that was and it's still sloppy today. Very proud of that. No, but yeah, that was my very first one, and then I think you guys were next, and I was still working a job at that point. Still just grinding that job.
You don't count what you do as a job?
Oh yeah, well I guess it is. I don't
No,
know,
but
it's a
just
You
weird
count
ass
what
job.
you do as a job?
Like half and half,
Yeah.
But I see what you just seem to be having so much fun. That I get why you don't even count it. It's yeah, I have to, sleep every once in a while, but
Yeah.
other than that, I just basically say what I want to say.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
It's pretty cool. I feel very lucky, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely still work in terms of having to show up for things, having to do regimented schedule and a routine, but I'm not used to this, so I'm learning how to be a musician. It's weird. It's yeah, it's different. I've always just had jobs. I've always just had come here, do the work, don't worry about anything else. We'll pay you. Boom, you're done, and it's much more hands-on, with this. I don't know why I keep addressing the camera I'm telling a bedtime story.
The audience is there.
Yeah.
You do it because you're a showman,
Yeah.
and you know how to keep the crowd in.
I'm just trying to, yeah.
Hello, Internet.
Hey, everybody.
So,
John
Mark,
Internet.
Mark has an awesome YouTube channel. 32,000 subscribers. Last time I checked, subscribers, not views. People that actually get the jingle when he does something.
Yes, sir.
And one of your first shows with us on Sunday, I remember there was, 125 people in here enjoying themselves. Well, let's say 100 people enjoying themselves, 25 people didn't know what the fuck was going on. And I remember looking around, and I dabble on your YouTube channel as like a subscriber, viewer guy, but also booker and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
And my favorite part was looking in, and there was people commenting. It was like, man, look at all these people being freaked out by Mark in the background, because it was like there were some people that just didn't even know what was going on. They were just like looking at each other.
The rest of them are just with their phones.
Yeah, half of them are filming, and the other half are just like talking
Yeah.
to their spouses, trying to figure out if they should stay or go.
Yeah.
Which is great. That is exactly the kind of reaction I want. It should be, just make people uncomfortable, and then hopefully
Hopefully they get it.
yeah, if they get it, then
Yeah.
hopefully I think they'll be in for a good time. But yeah, if they
The
don't,
squirminess is part of it.
But
yes, it definitely is. Definitely.
But I looked, and you had 992 people logged in on the live stream, watching you
man.
on YouTube live. And then there was like the 115 people here hanging out, not
Yeah.
even realizing that there's people that would like give their left testicle to be able to hear watching the show. This past Sunday, I shared a table with the guy. Saw a guy, he was clearly a Mark fan, so I was like, hey man, can I sit with you? The place was full. And he had driven up from Houston for the main purpose of seeing Mark perform a show or two while he was up in town. And then you were telling me a guy from sitting at this table right here was down from Chicago.
At this very
How
table.
did that even?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I was coming in and setting up, and the guy just came right up to me and was like, hey man, I'm here from Chicago. I love your stuff, and I just, thank you for blah, blah, blah. It's just like, it is nuts to me, the reactions that I've been getting. It's like, you're blasting my fucking ego to Neptune. It's too much. No, but it's like, it's incredible. It's super flattering. Just relax is what I'm trying to say. I'm not that special, just like fucking around and enjoying myself. So it's, but
Yeah, but I mean,
it's really nice.
I'm gonna take your ego, play around.
Put you
Yeah.
in check real quick.
Yeah, because
play
you
it
know,
around.
Your voice sucks.
Yeah.
no, I'm being serious.
You're
Who
nothing.
else?
You just spend some time with a goddamn metronome.
Who else does what you do? I mean, can you think of?
Not exactly, but Reggie Watts, Beardy Man. Some people have talked about Beardy
But Reggie
Man.
Watts, he does like a bit. He does like a show, and then he'll sit down, just like Paula Poundstone or
Reggie
something.
Watts is
No,
practiced.
he does like entire. Oh yeah, dude. The guy's been in many bands as a frontman and as a musician, and then he started doing this improvised act, and he'll do like an hour and a half completely
Oh, he does
improvised.
improv ones too.
Oh yeah.
The ones
dude,
I've
those
seen,
are his most amazing.
the ones that I've seen seem kind of like a schedule.
Oh, okay. No.
Like stage performances.
Let me
where he
throw something
talks and then
out.
he sits down and then.
Oh yeah. No, the entire thing is like improvised front to back. He was my main inspiration, but I want to throw something out there to the internet, which is his musicians at Google set. The Reggie Watts musicians at Google set is like one of the most amazing half hours with a guy with like one piece of equipment and a microphone that you will ever see. It's like the entire thing is made up, and it's fucking incredible. It's just inspired and ridiculous and hilarious. But yeah, so I would say he's definitely the closest.
Yeah.
Take his thing, and then I add like a whole bunch of virtual instruments to it. That's the main difference. Is like I'm able to, or I've just like
You're like a funny RZA.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting you bring that up.
Put that on the card.
Yeah.
Marc Rebillet, like a funny RZA.
Funny RZA raves Jeff Fryman. But yeah, I mean that's the main difference. He's all improvised, I'm all improvised, but I'm doing shit with a bunch of different drum kits and instruments, whereas he primarily uses just his mouth. He does beatboxing, pitch shifting.
Oh, cool.
Sometimes he'll hop on a piano.
But does he loop that stuff
But
too?
yeah, he uses a looper. He uses
Yeah.
like a Line 6 looper, and it's very similar in style.
Yeah.
I ripped basically the concept of what I'm doing from Reggie Watts, big time, but in my own stupid way.
Yeah.
Did you initially want to do just straight up? Because I know you're actually that's the funny part when you try and explain Mark, is that like he's actually really good at the instruments too. You know, he's not just going dick and balls. You know, it's like.
But he does actually.
I do that.
Is that a song? That's an actual.
I'm sure it's a song.
That's an actual Marc Rebillet
Look
track.
back in the archives. I'm sure it's a song. Yeah.
But like, did you ever think I'll just go out and do just music and sing? You know, or had you always been like, I'm just gonna be funny because I'm most comfortable doing this?
Yeah, I mean,
performing.
I have done. I mean, like the steps to this were not nearly as successful, but I spent like a number of years doing like producing beats and producing. I did a really fun, something I'm really proud of, like a full audio project with my friend Frederick, who you all know.
Chopin?
Yeah. Frederick Chopin, great guy. We linked up on Facebook. And,
LinkedIn, actually.
Got them
Man,
keys.
yeah, he plays the piano. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Look him up.
Yeah. F. Chopin, chopping. It's like chopping. But yeah, he's a poet, and so he like wrote a project, and it's like an hour and a half long poetic voice project, but I composed an entire soundtrack underneath it, like a whole score under this like epic poem, basically. That's it's cool. It's sci-fi, and it's. But anyway, so I did that, and I did beats, and then I finally. Seeing Reggie Watts and then getting this looper made me sort of like realize this thing that I'd really been wanting to do for a long time, which was like, just, is there a way that I can make up music without having to plan it? Like, where I can just like make up music immediately. And Reggie Watts is like, okay, you can do that. And then I was like, all right.
Talk to Reggie Watts?
Yeah. Actually, I did. I saw him play.
That's pretty awesome.
Once, and yeah. I just like said hey, but watching Reggie Watts told me like, yes, okay, this can be done. And then I was like, all right, if I can just use all of my instruments, I've compiled all these instruments, drum kits, bass sounds, keyboards, all this shit over like
Star
years.
Wars fight scenes, sound
Star
effects.
Wars samples, yeah. I was like, if I can just like invoke those at will, then I could do it. And so that loop pedal, that station is the whole key, and yeah, I didn't know what I was talking about. But,
You did it, man.
Talking about your friend. Talking
Thanks,
about your
bro.
friend. Yeah.
Frederick. No, you went into
What
like
was I talking?
Talking about your friend Frederick, and you wrote the score for the thing.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
like
about like what
musician,
have
yeah.
you done serious music?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or did you think about that in the beginning?
Yes, yeah. I mean,
Sure.
it was serious
I like how
to
you
a
can
degree.
call what you do for a living not serious music. I also
Definitely not
I also
serious, yeah.
respect that about you. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I'm a professional. This
Yeah.
is serious music all the time. Don't you tell me that what I do isn't serious.
yeah. Everyone, shut up.
I'm gonna
trying
say
to
dick
make
and balls.
music.
I'm gonna say dick and balls, and y'all are gonna listen.
Yeah.
But like
But
seriously,
there's-
like some of those. Sorry to cut you off, but
Oh,
some
no.
of them really are like really good jams, and you're like, dude, this could be like a real song. And then you do the Mark thing where you like go, okay, now I'm gonna fuck your world with what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But it's like when he's like I don't know how to say it, melodic. You start to like do the voice thing and everything, and like start singing. Even though that the Butthole song, it's like a real song, and then you just add your little twist to it, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Turn around, girl.
I mean, I think or at least for me, the important thing is, you know, I'm definitely in the same wheelhouse as people like, you know, in terms of musical
Reggie
style,
Watts, we
not
get
in
it.
terms of importance or like skill, but I'm in the same genre as people like Weird Al or you know, that are doing music comedy, but it's very important to me that like I think that the beats are dope. Like they should be able to stand a lot. Like I should be able to just like step away, press play on whatever it is I've just created, and be like, ooh, nice, you know.
one
And
of
if
the
there's
things I
that
like-
foundation there, then I can fuck around.
It's one of the things I like that you do when you're taking a 5-minute break. You just like find something that you had just slapped together.
Yes.
And you're like, this one's cool for me to let play, and I'll walk away from my set for 5-6 minutes. And
Yeah.
Go chat
Yeah.
with some people and grab a drink and relax.
Yeah, so you don't have to
for a
pop on
moment.
house music.
And I like how
Right,
you like
yeah.
pick one. You're like, nope, that one's terrible.
Yeah,
That one
yeah,
beats me.
yeah, because that looper's awesome because every time you create something, you can just save that to like a bank. And so then like later, whenever, you just like navigate to it, press play, and then you've got this thing that you made 2 months ago that, I don't know, you know.
There's two things that I love. I don't want to say most because there's a lot of things I love about your performances, but two of the things that really stick out in my head the most are that improvisational aspect of what you do presents situations that no one would ever write on purpose. And one of the things that really sticks into my head is in Kris Kringle from one of your released album on iTunes. Kris Kringle is one of my favorite tracks. Around Christmas time this year, on one of your ideologues, you ended up just dropping Kris Kringle at home.
That's right.
And there's a couple things that stick out to me. One, we were talking that day and you sent me a text message and you were like, just recorded the same motherfucking song for 4 hours, and the first recording that I did was the best one out of all of them, and that's the one I ended up putting on YouTube.
Happens all the fucking time.
Part of that is maybe part of what I love so much about that song is knowing that it was like a fucking Beatles occurrence where it was just like the first take was the one that ended up being the best. That's what they used. They didn't have time to do everything else. But the little like things that you stumble across in your speech that you wouldn't write down if you were like writing the lyrics to a song. But when Kris Kringle, the motherfucking pimp, is checking on his hose, you do the quick line where it's like, how are you? Who you doing? There's like something that you do through. You roll through like 4 questions, and then it just goes straight to no. Don't answer that. Where's my money? You know, like, and you ask all these things. Don't answer that. And it's like that's one of those like it's almost like he's taking back what he just said, but it's not something that would ever make it to the. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, it's like real time editing.
Totally, and it was just that. It was just that like that perfect thing, and then I mentioned that this last Sunday at BrainDead was one of my favorite sets that I've seen. I'm bummed I missed the first hour.
I'm bummed I didn't live stream it.
Man, it was just hot the whole
Y'all
time.
should have been there.
It was hot the whole time.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a fun
But
show.
my other, if you were to say, hey, what's your like favorite Marc moment of all of the shows? There's a handful that come to mind. But the GIF conversation that you had with the guy sitting 4 feet from your keyboard. You're sitting here doing your keyboard, and randomly you said GIF,
right?
And the guy corrected you. It's pronounced GIF, and you like stopped the music. You're like, actually, no, it's not. And he sat there for like 10 minutes and explained to the guy about how the originator of the file format said it's pronounced GIF, and that GIF. Sorry.
Hey.
The originator of the file format said that it's pronounced GIF.
Right.
People will say, oh, G stands for graphics, and that's why you pronounce it GIF. But the guy who created GIF gave it the pronunciation GIF, and so that's how you define that as the case.
Yeah.
And you went and you talked with the guy.
That's my opinion.
You were kind of a dick to him in like in a friendly performer sort of way.
Yes,
where like
if
you were just a guy on the street, it would have been a rude way to come at somebody.
Right.
But being the musician on the microphone, it was like endearing and fun.
I'm glad.
And then you,
I felt
and
the
then you
need
did
to
the whole thing. You put the guy straight up in his place, and then you're like, no, you know what? I'm ready to change the subject. I'm sorry. You played the piano for a second, and you do your loop thing, and you build something. And then you're just like, it's 100% pronounced GIF. And you like went into a song entirely like being like, if you think it's pronounced GIF, you're an asshole, and you did a whole like 5-minute song about how you were right and he was wrong. Yeah. And it was just, that was just such a great like Marc moment, you know? It was one of those things that like you can never plan. You're never gonna be like, okay, and then 30 minutes into my set, I'm gonna get with a fight with a guy in the front row.
Right.
We're gonna argue about it, and then I'm gonna make a song about what a fool that guy is.
That is the beauty and the danger of like, the danger is that nothing entertaining happens. And that's certainly possible. I've had a number of shows like that, at least where like, there's not a lot of entertaining things that happen, but by leaving,
there was
just
a trough that you felt.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a little dip. But yeah, I mean, by like leaving it open to that, most of the time, you just trust the audience to like come up with something interesting for you to bounce off of, they will 9 times out of 10 provide that. You know, I mean, it's an energy. If you're able to get their attention and then connect with them in some way, shit will happen. It's inevitable. And that GIF, I felt the need. I remember apologizing to him because I felt like
you were very nice.
yeah, I just like felt like a dick. I was like, yo, dude. Sorry.
I just ripped on
but,
you for 15 minutes.
Yeah, this is important to me, okay? It's fucking shit. Idiot. And then I just railed
But I'm
into
really
him
sorry,
again.
but you are an idiot.
No, but you have no clue what you're talking about.
You don't even know that you're dumb.
I need to start a diary.
Right, guys?
I need to start a
That's
diary
right.
of my favorite Marc.
Let's kill
Marc
this
Rebillet
guy.
moments, because they're right now as I'm trying to come up with them, they're all like kind of blurring together, and I'm really frustrated that I can't call them back. But since I talked about one of my favorite Marc moments, I'm going to talk about one of my least favorite Marc moments.
Oh, please.
Was another show here at BrainDead, and it was Father's Day.
Yes.
And on Father's Day, he plays between 2 and 4 p.m. So our brunch rolls until 3, and so we bring him in at 2, and he kind of takes that energy of brunch and helps us carry it over into the afternoon. And this place was just full of kids. It was Father's Day, it was a brewery, and there was somewhere between 10 and 15, maybe even a little bit more than that, like children between the ages of 6 and 12.
Yeah.
And I was here from the very beginning of that set, which I try not to do because I love when you welcome me when I walk in the door. No, but I was here. I don't really do that on purpose. But I was here at the very beginning of the set, and I got to watch it happen. And the thing that really stuck out to me was I watched you. You're my friend. I know you.
Yeah.
I'm watching you perform, and I can tell when stuff's like not going. I don't want to say right or wrong, but I can like feel.
When it's not
I can
clicking.
feel your energy because I know who you are, and I know what you're trying to do, and I know how it all works.
Yeah.
And I watched you suppressing yourself because there was kids. And you were seeing all these kids everywhere, and you were doing these happy-go-lucky Barney, I love you, you love me songs, because
Yeah.
there was the little girl in the blue dress dancing up front,
Dude.
and her dad was like smiling at her, and she was like dancing in front of you, and you didn't have the heart to like,
Dude, it was
you know,
great. She
go
was
into
great. She
all
was
the other
killing
thing.
it. I agree, and actually, like the better part of that set, I was like, damn, this is really crippled by like, you know, I don't feel like I can open up as much as I want to open up and this and that. But I just edited together the highlight reel of that stream.
Yeah.
And I put that up yesterday. Yo. Yeah. Anyways. No, yeah, and
Shout out to my boy LL.
yeah. LL, how are you, man? How are you?
What's up, LL?
Yeah, LL. So, anyways, no, but looking back at like the set as a whole, actually, I think turned out really. There's a lot of moments where there's just like a group of like 5 or 6 kids, like
Yeah.
bah, bah, bah. I was like, hey, yes, get it, kids. I got to like talk to a few of them, put them on mic, you know, interview them a little bit, and that was really nice.
Yeah.
The more people that I can get to get the fuck down at a show, that makes me really happy.
So you don't know where I was going with the suppression?
No.
So, on that show, you were feeling, I could visibly see you being suppressed by all the children.
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
trying to like ratchet it back, and 40 minutes into the set, I'm like, oh man, he is getting ready to break through the top of this building like at the end of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He has been behaving himself for too long, and it's about to explode. And do you know what happened?
What?
So, I watched you like take a moment to yourself, and then you started doing one of your interludes that you do, and you did a dad talking to his young son. And that dad was talking to his young son, and I just knew, I was like,
This was not Father's Day. This is a little while back.
Was this
Yes.
different?
I know where you're.
Okay.
I know where you're going.
But there was still a bunch of kids in the house that day.
Yes, there were.
And Marc was feeling suppressed, and I could just tell. And he does a scene where it's a father calling his son into the room to talk to him, and then the father, I don't think it was chokes, it was more like smothers with a pillow, smothers the kid to death where the kid dies, and the father is apologizing to his son as he's choking him out, and then he drags the son into another room where the dad, presumably the dad's friends, are waiting for a ritual to the Dark Lord, and they ritualistically sacrificed the recently deceased child of the dad, and then he rolled into like satanic hymns and stuff of whatever kind of dark monk chants would be happening during the bleeding out of a youth.
So you're saying you didn't like that?
No,
It was,
that was the turnaround. Right?
That was the moment where I was just like,
He found it.
yeah. There was another moment at Common Table.
A table walked
Yeah,
out.
a table walked out. Yeah, they were fucking yelping on their way out the door. But yeah, it's like from adversity comes the good stuff.
A
And
table without a kid walked out.
Oh yeah. People were offended that day for sure.
Oh,
Like
boy.
my birthday party, I asked you to not do any vocals for the first hour because I had like people's parents and stuff. You made it 20 minutes without vocals. And then you went off to do the thing. You can't tell Mark what to do at his shows. I've tried. I've hired him personally for a personal party.
You really can't. There was one time. I don't think I want to disparage the bar's name, so I'm not going to mention them. But they hired me for quite a few gigs,
Ooh,
like
guess.
a weekly thing. And you mind if I take a few guesses? While we're rolling, if I can. So they hired me, and he was like, "Yo, just maybe like take it easy." I did not really take it easy, but the shows did fairly well, and then like maybe 3 or 4 shows into the residency or whatever, the guy reached out to me, the guy who booked me. He was like, "Yo, man, this waitress that works there is very offended. She's like come to HR and she's like really uncomfortable with what you're doing." And I was like, "Shit, dude, I don't like hearing that. Honestly,
This is a real story?
I'm like, it's not my intent. I don't want to make people uncomfortable or feel like uncomfortable in the bad way where it's like you feel hurt or I'm trying to make people feel uncomfortable for sure, but just like squeamish in
More
a
like
way
Philip
that is.
Seymour Hoffman and Big Lebowski. Like,
Yes. It's like, oh shit, where is this going? Not like, fuck this dude, fuck what he's, So I don't like that. So I was like, all right, what do I need to do to 1, keep the gig, and 2,
make it right
make
for this
amends.
person.
Exactly. So he was like, let's just try a set that's like totally family friendly. Just do it. It's a 3-hour show that I had there, and so I did this 3-hour set. Totally, I said nothing. Totally family friendly.
He wore a clown nose.
Well, and then at the end, I did the no more rape.
Stop that rape.
Stop that rape.
Yeah.
I did that, and
That's family
maybe
friendly.
that was a little bit. I mean, in
The
principle, it
message
really
is
is.
good.
Yeah.
In principle,
Cut
it
the
is.
rape out. No more raping.
Yeah.
Just one more?
But anyway,
No,
like
no
I'm
more.
talking about
Oh, okay.
3 solid hours of family friendly shit.
Yeah.
At a bar, not
Yeah.
a nursery, not a fucking like McDonald's
At the Chili's bar,
Playhouse.
yeah.
At the Chili's bar on Southwestern, and but yeah, and then apparently she was still offended. So that was it. Lost that gig.
Hey,
I don't know what to. Why the fuck?
I never heard about waiters getting offended about anything before.
Yeah,
In my 15 years in the service
I know.
industry.
Yeah.
And
They're the ones who do the offending, right?
yeah, hopefully people.
I just don't like it.
It's just not a very family friendly set. It's just not.
We did warnings on the window for the first time. I don't know if you noticed that.
Did you
This
really?
set- yeah, we said, hey, between 2 and 4 p.m., the musical guest might not be appropriate for guests under 13. But whoever wrote the warning, you know who wrote the warning? Was it you?
No, I was totally against the warning. I don't know why this happened.
Well, no.
Why
but-
is the video on me right now?
Stop it. Stop rolling.
But it was actually really well. It was written in a very brain dead way, which is why I asked if you wrote it. It said, just a heads up, this musical guest might not be appropriate for guests under 13, unless you're a cool parent and your kids are probably down with having a good time anyways, and then it would be okay. But it was like a cool little like thing at the end where it was like, hey, you know, some people, and then Corey Pond walked in with his little kids, you know.
Oh, that was for this Sunday?
Yeah, it was this Sunday. I thought it was appropriate. It was just like, hey, heads up, we got someone on in here that might accidentally say something that, you know.
Oh, no, definitely will accidentally say something.
Indeed.
Definitely.
Not accidentally.
And very much
purposefully.
purposefully.
Yeah.
See, I love it. Like you were messing around with that kid's like Wu-Tang, you know, kid.
Oh, the baby,
And
yes.
there was even like a table over here before I was
Wu-Tang
like,
baby?
hey guys.
Dude,
Oh,
Father's
yeah.
Day, before you got here, there was a guy whose baby was dressed in a little Wu-Tang thing.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm
It
talking
was
about.
amazing.
And
That's
he
what
went
I'm
on this.
talking about.
He was like diapers. So he started like thinking of all these kid things as he grows up through life,
Yeah.
and then everyone was like, "Fuck yeah, woo!" It's like, and there was like a family over here. I was like, "Hey, just letting you guys know, Mark does go crazy sometimes," and they're like, "That's fine." And it's like most people like they don't care, you know, like
And
they're
if
just
you do-
dancing with their kids. Like my kids are gonna hear this.
Yeah.
You know, you're
Right.
walking into a place called BrainDead.
Brandon Delira brought his kid in here for one of the shows. I don't know
yeah.
if you know who Delira is,
I don't
but
think I
used to brew at Deep Ellum.
Oh,
cool,
okay.
Cool guy.
Yeah.
Hey, what's
I like
up,
to
bud?
I like to jokingly call him Chief because of a funny conversation we had in Denver one time.
It's cheap and straight cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
that
It's like,
really?
Chief,
Yeah.
and then Chief some more. And it's like drive some more, and then Chief, and you realize you're at the wrong place. And then Chief again to figure out where you were going in the first place. Anyways, good friend
Chief
of mine.
hard.
Yeah, we were in Colorado,
hard,
so it was a perfectly legal conversation to be having during that pace.
Absolutely.
But Brandon brings
and we
his
do support
Brandon,
the law.
Brandon,
And
yes,
the upholding of it.
yes, absolutely, the laws of the land.
Love that.
Brandon brings his little girl in here. She's like 4.
Yeah.
Little 4-year-old
Hey.
walks in, and then you sing this, you start this song, and you're like, oh, she's got so much to learn, and about the youth growing up, and it's
Oh,
like, and then
yeah.
she's gonna meet a boy, and you're gonna have to deal with that, and then periods, and then you just like just shifted gears, and it was just like, I remember I looked at him, I was like, sorry, I don't know what to tell you right now.
Sounds
there's-
like that song went in the direction I would have liked it to go.
Well, you know, it's just one
It
of
went
those
where it
things.
needed to
You
go.
need the-
Yeah.
You need that.
And then
I mean, you know, you're going to be having that conversation.
2 weeks ago, the whole thing with the couple, or was that last week with the couple and the realtor? I can't remember if I saw it or if I listened to it in the car. But anyways, the couple and the realtor, and then the guy cheated on the
shit.
girl.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you ended up doing like 3 songs that actually like connected to each other.
That was the first time I ever did anything like that.
Because
yeah,
you
that
did
was,
a song where the couple breaks up because he was cheating on her, and then
Yes.
you did a song about the guy being alone by
Right.
himself.
Yeah,
and then-
first it was like it was like
Ooh, concept shows.
that's kind of what happened. It would, but just for like 20 minutes or so. But it was like, I thought about this scene where like a couple is buying a new home. I think I said like mortgage or something, and so it was like, hey Tom, we're so happy to, you know, it was like the agent. Hey, great to be able to close on this deal. You know, hope you enjoy the new house. Oh, thanks for helping us get the home. We can't wait. Blah blah blah. So then it's like, okay, and then now Tom and Martha.
The first night in the
have
house, they
moved
opened
into
a
their
bottle
home.
of Burgundy.
Yeah, exactly. And they're hanging
Nice
out.
bottle of wine.
So then they do a little song, and then it's like, oh, we're hanging out. Oh, so happy that we've moved here. I love you. God, you know, thanks for saying that. Hey, by the way, I was like,
I
all right.
knew something was going wrong. It was a whole song that was happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man,
The idea,
something's
I was like,
coming.
okay.
Yeah.
Something's coming.
I was like, all right, let's do. He is cheating on her, and she finds out by like looking at his cell phone. So I just act that whole scene out, and she like loses her fucking shit.
He's got a little knob. He got a little knob where he turns it and it makes his voice high pitch, and he turns it the other way and it makes his voice
Hey,
low
what's up?
pitch.
What's up,
so
Sheila?
he does guys and girl conversations real
Right.
fast, and he like quickly changes his voice. Like, oh man, you gotta see it. Anyways,
Yeah, so that was it. I mean, yeah.
She asked to go through his phone, and he's
Stay
like,
tuned
why,
after the
why,
show."
why are we doing this? And she's like, because this is our life now. Let's look at your phone. And they like go through the whole argument.
Why are you looking at my phone, Sheila?
Oh man.
Yeah, she's like, who are these bitches? Tits
good.
on here and blah blah blah.
So good.
Yeah,
So
it was
good.
it was a whole like smackdown, and then like the third act of it was actually not my choice, or I think I did a song about like carpet cleaners. And then
Yeah,
I
2,
brought
6,
Martha
7, 8, 4, 3, 3. You did the
because
Dalworth
next
carpet
best thing
clean.
to do, yeah.
You rolled into it with the Dalworth carpet clean.
Right,
show.
right. And
Yeah,
then
that's
Martha
right.
came back in. It was
That's
like,
right.
Martha's got some Bordeaux stains on her carpet, got to get rid of, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, after that, a woman in the audience asked, she was like, hey, how's Tom? How's Tom and Martha doing? I was like, so then I had to make up, it was like 2 years later, divorce proceedings underway, but it was
Glad
like
you
a
asked.
story of a couple and them breaking up. That was so much fun.
Oh, it was great.
Never done anything like that at a
was
show
great.
before.
It was
I
a
got
fun-
to do that more
It was a
often.
fun swath. Speaking of things you need to do more often, you're fluent French speaker. I
Yes,
don't know.
that's right.
I don't know if
That's
you were
right.
just ignoring me during the last show, or if you just didn't see me during the last show.
I may not have
But I
heard
held
you.
up I wrote a sign that said "Speak French."
Really?
And I held it up above my head for 10 minutes.
No way.
People were coming by and asking me, like, "Why are you asking him to speak French?" I was like, "Oh, he's a fluent French speaker. You can do all of this in another
You
language."
held up a sign?
Yes, I printed out 2 pieces of receipt sheet paper. I wrote "speak" on one and French on the other, and I held them over my head, 3 feet from your face, right here. Yeah, yeah, right here.
I never
Strangers
saw
were
you.
asking me why I was holding up a sign that said "Speak French," and I was explaining how you do this whole like Wyclef Jean hip hop thing, and
Yeah.
it's just got a good vibe to it. And
I never heard you.
We're talking
or
too
never
much. We drink more.
saw the sign. Yeah,
know?
we should drink more. Hey. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, excuse me.
what's our time lapse out right there? Where we at?
How we looking?
We're good. We're good.
Anton, say something, baby. How
So,
we do? It's like Wilson in Home Improvement. You never.
He's listening behind.
Right on the thing.
Oh,
He's
right.
listening. His audio.
Oh, in one
his
ear. What
audio's
is that, an
behind.
AirPod?
Some people commented, yeah, AirPod.
How do you like the AirPods?
You can lose them really easily. I can tell you from experience.
Really? But that charging station though is pretty cool.
Yeah, what are the
I love
questions?
That charging station.
Let's hear some Mark questions.
Oh, are there some questions?
Aaron and Dolly both disappointed that you didn't speak in French.
Well, now I'm definitely not speaking
On
French.
the Father's Day, Matt Dixon, his son was here and he got all of it as he started talking about Marc Rebillet's son.
Oh yes, his son was amazing. He did a.
Repeat the question, you might not hear it.
Little
Um,
Eamon.
Matt Dixon's son. What was his name?
Eamon.
Eamon. Lovely, lovely kid, and I sampled him a couple times for some songs on Father's Day. They were just such a great group of kids. Good, awesome energy, and this thing, they're just adorable. Their moms give them money to come up and put in the tip. They're running
That's
up
what
and,
because that's when you were talking about Father's Day. I was like, I was there.
I think
and
that was a week before
Yeah.
the one I was talking
Yes.
about.
But
Yes,
he did
yeah,
the
yeah.
same thing. He like, not to downplay it or down it, but it was like you were.
how dare you?
You were kind of like, oh shit, but you kind of knew what was going. You were coming into. It's
Yes,
Father's Day at
yeah.
a beer place.
I was like, all right, I'm
you
gonna
know,
have
and
to-
then you started feeling it, and I was like, oh shit, here
Here
it
it
goes.
comes.
and people were like, he said poop and shit. I was like, yeah, that he's being tame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very.
It was awesome.
He
But
said
all the
poop, thank you.
all these kids were just jamming. He had like when I walked in one time, there were like 5 kids just sitting around, just like right up by the thing, going like, woo!
Y'all can see it. I put it together. It's the Father's Day stream highlights on my YouTube channel. Yes,
DSR,
the SDR show.
SDR. There we go.
They-
I remember when I saw it, I thought that was DR show. I was like, who's on the Diane Raves show? What was the
Diane
DR?
Raves.
DR. Just go to DR show.
Sorry, bad Diane.
Y'all love you, Diane. So did you? No,
Tune in next week.
dude. Okay, this podcast was, for me personally, a disaster. Even though now that it's out and I had a chance to listen to it, it's okay. It's okay, but.
They can edit you to sound better.
They don't. I mean, it just runs all the way
Oh,
through.
yeah.
But it was a fucking disaster
like
because
this.
I made
No editing.
I made the big mistake of letting them get me really fucking high. Like right before we started rolling. And we're like, it's a studio, there are microphones, you know, like the whole shit. I don't know these people, you know, like, here's your keyboard, we have to get another.
It's not like getting really high with me. It's
It's like, oh my God. I like
Chief radio.
receded into this anxious black hole of like
you snorted some
panic
ketamine,
and
things got
anxiety.
weird.
It
I don't
felt
even know.
like that. It felt like that. I was like one step removed from the front of my face. You know, I was just like, and just couldn't follow the conversation. More. Hey. But yeah, I was just operating at like 40%. You know, and it was not. Lesson learned. You know, don't smoke before appearances.
I try not to smoke weed before any
Probably a
public
good idea.
Well, at least being on the radio.
And
Or on a podcast.
until you're so comfortable with it that it's like, fuck it, dude. You know, like, I think if I was like comfortable with it and I could just shoot the shit with these people, and getting high wouldn't be a problem. But getting high like with these people who I've never met, and then he's throwing off. Loved my experience. I don't want to make it seem like I didn't. I had a
you're
great
far
time.
too critical of yourself.
Yeah,
Central
they
Track just posted,
were.
don't smoke weed and go on new podcasts. Lesson
Yes,
learned.
that's exactly right. They were super nice and super accommodating and lovely people, and they offered me weed, and I smoked it. It's like it was lovely, but
I better not.
I just made the wrong
We're in the
choice.
spirit world, asshole.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? We had a little conversation on Sunday. You were
Oh, yes.
You were trying to casually break it to me that you're moving away from me specifically.
Yeah, I just couldn't take it. I couldn't take it anymore. And, listen,
Oh, it's done.
how many times do we have to
Squeeze
have the
somewhere
same argument? You know?
Empty?
Yeah.
We got
Oh, check that out right there.
we found a couple extra ounces of beer on accident.
Chin chin, gentlemen.
Chin
To
and
getting high before shows.
yeah.
Not advisable.
This one would be fun.
You're
We
going
should
to
try it every
going
once
to
in a
New
while.
York.
Yes, I am. I'm moving to New York. I'm doing it. As of August, I'm out this thing. And
So how long do you have to fail before you come back home to me?
probably like 6 months. If I'm not
Well,
rocking
you
it.
lived
I don't
in
know.
New
You
York
don't know how
before.
much it costs.
Was that?
You lived there before.
Yes,
So
I
I
did.
mean, it's comfortable for you. And like,
Very comfortable.
You've
Yeah.
lived in a basement. They give the shitty
Yeah.
apartments the letters.
Right.
The B. So you
Yep.
can stay in a B or a D.
Yes.
See,
Apartment D.
the thing
Yep.
is,
It's true.
I wasn't surprised to hear it because I knew at some point you would leave us. You know, in general, like, because you're awesome, dude. So like,
I thought he was at least going to get popular before you left.
he's pretty popular,
I'm just
dude.
I'm just fucking with my friend.
I'm really not, though. I mean, in the scheme of things, I got a lot. I
just
have
fuck- I'm
a
just fucking
lot
with
of work to do.
Fucking with my buddy here.
Yeah. I mean, he's not fucking.
It just,
hot.
Yeah.
it just does make me and him sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this show's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, okay.
No, I mean, in all honesty, yes, it is like.
Hey, congrats though, man. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Hey.
It's very
excited for you.
bittersweet. I'm excited, but I'm also, it's going to be a really hard move. It's going to be a hard thing to, I have not had the privilege of being able to make music for a living ever in my life, not even a cent, and now I'm doing that, and there's a whole community of people here that like accept me for that and really like work to make me more known and to
Photograph
spread
and
me
edit
out.
whole shows of yours. And
They buy a
through
new
and
PC.
Provide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a computer just so I could better edit photos of you while you're playing music.
Sorry. Yeah, no, but really, it's gonna suck. And there's, on top of all of that, it's like, am I gonna appeal to audiences there? I think I will, but you can only hope. There's no way to tell until you do it. And additionally,
Oh, sorry, dude.
I moved back here from New York to help take care of my family, I'm going to be leaving them too, and that is really the hardest thing
Just
of
don't
all,
do it.
for sure. Yeah. Well, let me cancel that 1 month notice, and let's do that.
It's okay.
Yeah.
My
just-
my
it
roommate
sucks,
Sarah
but-
over here is moving out at the end of August, so if you get there, you can come right back, and I got a guest room. Got a guest room for you. Talking about how the room will be vacated around the middle of August. So if he gets up there, realizes he made a horrible mistake, he can come right back. Come right back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it's the right step to take. You know, I've talked with my mom a lot about it. And
Totally.
she is.
I've only
not,
talked to your mom once, but I know that you did.
You have. She's
Yeah.
lovely. She's great. She's the best, and she is very supportive of it. Although very sad, but supportive. And it's just we gotta. You know, now it's time. Like I know that I've got something. I know that there's something to this.
Yeah.
And I've just got to like try
Yeah,
and
dude.
ride it to wherever it's gonna go. If it doesn't go anywhere, I can work jobs. I know how to do it. I've done it all my fucking life, so I'll work a job. But if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. You gotta like try it. You know,
You're in the quarryman phase. You need to.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly
You
right.
need to get out there and fucking grind it.
We gotta
And have it
fire
not-
Pete
have
Best.
it not be fun. Yeah.
Fire
yeah,
that piece
yeah,
of
get-
shit.
Get
Oh
Pete
yeah,
out of
nice
here.
little
Oh
pompadour.
yeah. Oh,
Pete.
pretty boy.
Great
Pretty
job
boy
on
Pete.
that drumming.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're the
kidding.
good-looking one.
You
Get the fuck
suck.
out of here.
You shit drummer. Get out of there. You know, I have heard the recordings, okay? I've heard the archival recordings. Pete Best is bullshit. Yeah, he's fine.
He's
totally
He's
fine.
a nice man.
Well,
Totally
you know, I explained to my fiance, I was like, hey babe, so Mark's moving to New York in August, so that means I have to like go there before the end of the year. And she's
Yes.
like, babe, we don't have time for all this. And I was like, cancel one of our other trips because I'm going to see Mark.
Yes. I am going to be making a big stink about the whole thing on YouTube, on my social media, everywhere.
We got to get you kicked out of the city first. So like, let's think of places where you can perform.
Ooh, yeah.
Where you would be
Oh.
like not invited
On
back
the
to
X.
Oh my God! Yes,
On the X.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. We
Places that only.
So the precursor for Growlersations was a thing called 420 Friday, which Jeff and I used to do,
Dude,
and it
this
was
is a
only like
great
5 or
idea.
6 minutes long. We would just shotgun a beer and do a quick 5-minute spiel, shotgun a beer and be gone.
Oh, dope! I love that.
We did it here for a while, or in another undisclosed location for a while,
Yeah.
and then we started
Looks
going to
similar,
cities. We did it at the Bean. We like
Oh,
live
cool.
filmed shotgun beers underneath the Bean, and then like disposed of the trash and ran out of there. Like security guards were chasing us. We went to
awesome.
Philly and we did it on the Rocky Stairs going up.
Oh,
and we
cool.
ran up the stairs and then shotgunned a beer like after
Dude,
running up the
that's
stairs.
awesome.
We like did stuff where like cities would be mad about it.
And the
Grassy
staple
knoll.
is the shotgun, the thing.
Yeah.
I
Grassy
love that.
knoll,
That's
grassy
great.
knoll, or on the X, like where Kennedy got it through his head
Oh,
that Dallas didn't win him any here anymore.
Just perform right there.
Yeah, dude.
Yo, Abraham's a pruder. God damn, you loser. You gotta, it's just some shit. Oh, what's the camera angle? Is it 3 shots?
How long would you give him? I give you 3 minutes before you even
before
finish
The
the
trick
setting up.
is,
Yeah.
the trick is, we need to find some of those rooftop guys that know how to get onto the roofs you're not allowed to get to.
And get sniper
And we
rifles.
do and we can defend our stance.
Yeah.
You understand me, Jeff?
Erykah Badu has already paved the way for us here. You know, she walked down there and fucking stripped
Oh,
naked
yeah.
for her music video, Window Seat. Great music video. Shout out to Erykah Badu.
I'm down. I'm down to be a guard.
I'm absolutely down. Wherever you guys think would be the most uncomfortable. If there's like, it would be even better though to do it in a place where like, like a location.
Like a library.
Old
Yeah,
City
something
Park.
like that, where people are.
Dallas Heritage Village,
Where's that?
down here in the Cedars, the little town where they
Oh.
all 100-year-old buildings
Oh
that
yes,
they drove. You
yes.
could do it like in front of that old church or something, you know?
On a Sunday at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I rang that bell
Perfect.
for my dad's second wedding.
Really?
Yeah, my grandmother's ashes are in the magnolia tree out front of that church.
Ooh.
My grandma helped start Old City Park.
Let me ask you something. What's the tone of that bell? How's it sound?
Oh, it sounds.
Sounds good.
Oh, it sounds.
A nice deep
Oh
tone.
yeah, nice deep dong.
Oh
Nice deep dong.
Deep dong, baby. Yeah,
Deep donging.
Oh, we've been deep donging for a while, man.
All right, we're at the end. We gotta like make some beer disappear.
Guys, what a pleasure it's been. It's been a
you
real
gotta
pleasure.
We don't have to like wrap up immediately.
How many
but,
people
like,
are watching? I made the mistake of not. I didn't even
9.
think about.
We've been between 7 and 15.
Man, I gotta tell people. Well, once the video goes up, I'll push
Yeah,
it.
yeah. The Central Track thing gets 2,000 views in the first 48 hours usually.
Oh.
48 hours,
Guys.
72 hours. So.
What's that?
Yeah.
We're still on.
Oh, are we still?
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
hey!
Hey, still rolling. I thought we were gonna edit this
Dan
part out.
Rather
where we
here.
do the thing.
In news.
How good are you
There's
at making
still
beer
beer.
disappear? Get to drinking.
Okay, here we go. Clearly not good. I just spilled this shit all over myself like a child.
Whoops.
Jesus.
Perf.
All right, so like I said, we've got our guest Marc Rebillet. Thank you, Central Track. Thank you, Anton. Appreciate you guys doing what you do to make it back. And to our faithful followers, sorry for taking a month to break. We needed to take a little while and balance out some things. Still thinking about my homie Ian. I think that kind of had something to do with taking the break from it. But I love everybody involved. Thank you, Marc, for being a part of this.
Guys, thank you so much for having me.
Please
Thank you.
check out his YouTube channel. Go subscribe over on YouTube. While you're subscribing to Marc's show, you can subscribe to Growlersations. We have less than 50 followers as opposed to his 32,000. So, like, maybe if some of you guys wanted to pick one and
Maybe a
follow
little.
it too,
Whoop,
that would
You
be
don't even
fun.
have to follow it. Just press the button.
Press the little button.
Yeah,
Come on.
just ring a bell.
What the
You
fuck is
can,
wrong with
doesn't
you?
even,
Press the button.
Yeah, it's not even that hard. But then also, my man Marc has we mentioned it briefly, an album on iTunes, $9.99.
And all streaming
14
services.
tracks,
All
all streaming services, Spotify,
You
all
can
that
stream
shit.
it, everything. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
So check out Marc's stuff on Spotify or whatever source you like to use.
It's my first and last name.
Marc Rebillet, Rebillet, or Mick Riblet, as we like to call him.
Well done.
Or Loop Daddy on YouTube.
Loop Daddy.
Or, Reddit, they call him Loop Daddy on Reddit, so you can look up for all that. But yeah, get on there, check out his stuff, check out Central Track. Thank you for being a fan of Growlersations. But more importantly, get out there and meet somebody, talk to strangers, have real conversations. I know this is an internet stream thing, but get off the internet and go talk to people in real life. That's what we're doing. Thank you.
Cheers, y'all. Hey.
And we're out.